We have a special episode this week from our Find Hope Now dinner from April 29th. I hope you enjoy this special episode.
Thank you, everybody, again for coming and joining us. I wanted to take a second just to introduce our guest, Barbara Darling. Barbara is a senior professor of the practice of religion at Wheaton College. She actually was a teacher for one of Holly's daughters. Holly said her daughter's favorite professor at Wheaton. So, and she teaches courses in religion, animals, religion and ecology, and others. She is a member of Wheaton's Network for LGBTQ plus inclusion, support, and advocacy, and is a faculty athletic representative. She co-chairs the environmental ministries for the Southern New England Conference of the UCC, and she is also on the Climate Jubilee team at her home church, Church of the Covenant in Boston. Barbara's house rabbit animal companions, Teddy, Charlie, and Barbie K, fill her life with joy. So would you give her a warm welcome? Barbara, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is a creation justice conversation, and our church is on a journey considering becoming a creation justice church as a designation of the UCC. And so I wanted to just start by asking, what does creation justice, what do those words put together mean? Maybe broadly in the world, but also to you.
Thank you, and I'm very happy to be here, and I love talking about things like this. So broadly in the world, I think that a term like creation justice implies that you're being committed to creation care, which, as we know, is a religious concept from our Christian heritage, and also justice among human communities, and which is another concept in our Christian heritage. So it kind of brings those together: caring for the earth, caring for the non-human animals, and caring for the human communities, and bringing about justice. And it's not just bringing together two really cool things to put them in the same sentence. It's because they're very intertwined with each other. And a lot of the threats to human communities and to human justice are threats to the earth and vice versa. So, and to the other animals that live here. So I feel like it's a very natural and organic combination, and also there are two very important things that it's nice to know that you don't have to choose between two important things. So personally, my own personal one isn't all that different from that. I guess I really care about combining both of those things. And I feel like when I'm in environmental ministry spaces in the denomination, sometimes you have to make quite the argument to convince people that it's okay to care about the earth, because the UCC wonderfully has always been committed to human justice among human communities and between human communities. But I think sometimes it's nice to remind people that yes, you can do that and also care about the earth and the other living beings that are here with us.
Yeah, thank you for lifting up that intertwined nature of all of the justice issues that we care about, and there's so many things to care about. Mm-hmm. How did you get into this work, and what has changed for you since you started to today?
I got into it. I think I got interested in being committed to human justice work about the time that I joined the UCC as a denomination, which was in my adulthood. I wasn't raised in it, but it was decades ago now that I did join UCC. And so the human justice community's justice was always very, very important. And the commitment to taking care of and contributing to the flourishing of other lives, not just human lives, that quite a while ago too, I would say. Maybe when I was in graduate school studying religion, and I thought about how that, to me, one of the most important things about being in the Christian religion is believing in God, and believing in God as the creator of all of us, of all humans and all other beings. And therefore, all of us are precious, and all of us deserve respect and kindness and consideration, whether we're human or not. So that I've been caring about that for a long time too. So then I got involved with the conferences. Back when we used to just be the Massachusetts conference, I was on the environmental ministries team then. So geez, I think more than 20 years now. And then when we merged together with Rhode Island and Connecticut, I got to be part of the environmental ministries team of the combined New Southern New England Conference, which, by the way, we are a small but mighty environmental ministries team, and any of you would be interested in joining us, just let me know. We would be delighted.
Wonderful, thanks. And you spoke a little bit as to like how your faith has brought you into this work, and believing that, yes, everybody and everything was created by God, and therefore we are all precious. Can you talk a little bit more, as people of faith, as Christians, what is the specific call to this creation justice work when there's so much that we could be working on?
I think there is so much that we can be working on. But in the time we're in right now, it feels like the threats to our environment are so intertwined with the threats to human flourishing. And so, air pollution hits communities of color and low-income communities worse than it does other communities, and so does tainted water near them and ground, soil that's not healthy. All of those are environmental problems at the same time that they're justice problems. So, and then when you bring in climate and how the climate disruption always affects poorest communities worst, and tragically ironically, the countries that are the least responsible for the global climate change are the ones that are suffering the most, and some of them are dislocated and displaced and all kinds of horrible things, right? My church in Boston has a hermanamiento, which is a sibling relationship with a congregation in Nicaragua, and they've been having these most severe droughts that they live on the knife edge of existence anyway, and they grow their own food, and when there's a drought, they can't get a harvest that time, and that's because of all the climate disruption that has been caused by these couple of centuries of the way we've abused fossil fuels and so on. So I just feel like they're really connected, and to be caring about, that's actually a good thing, that to be caring about any aspect of that can bring you into this work, and then people can work together that might have slightly different motivations, but still can make very solid alliances to work on climate issues and environmental issues together.
That's such a UCC ism of coming from different places, but being able to join together to work for the flourishing of all life. Well, I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'm going to open it up to everyone here. But this is called a Find Hope Now dinner. And so I wanted to ask you if you could lift up some stories that you've seen in your work with the conference, churches that have really deeply engaged in creation justice work, and what inspires you and gives you hope.
I love your theme, Find Hope Now. I think that's wonderful, and I think we need hope, and I actually think, and I tell my students this, that that's one of the best things that religions can do for communities is provide hope for them. So, and one of the ways to do that is to look what other people are doing. And so, I was thinking about a church in Hartford, Connecticut, the way that one of the things they're doing is kind of mentoring a neighboring church and bringing them forward on getting more involved in environmental actions and activities and so on. And then I was thinking of a church, I forget if it's North Andover or Andover, Mass, where they have a pollinator garden that they put in. And I was thinking, just actually last Sunday for their Earth Day service, I got to go to the Winchester UCC Church, and they have this cool thing that's apparently a nationwide trend called repair cafes. And instead of throwing something into a landfill, you can go and figure out with other people how to repair it. It's a great thing. And they also do composting, which I see that you do too. I was very impressed with that. And they were going to be teaching their children about it. They had compost buckets right there that they were taking down to Sunday school to teach the kids about composting. My own church in Boston got together with other faith communities, other Christian churches, Unitarian Universalist Church, a couple of Jewish congregations, and has been doing like twice now in September and just this month, like a rally right in the Boston Common to let people know, yes, communities of faith care about this earth too. It's not just a secular movement, it also, so that all of those are hopeful, I think.
Yeah, thank you. And it strikes me that you lifted up a bunch of very different expressions of this sacred task of not only fighting disposability with repair cafes, but also providing homes for pollinators, and also bringing along the people who are not as far along, and I imagine looking to people who are further along to guide us too, and that's why we've invited you here. So yeah, thank you so much for coming and sharing your wisdom.